Once the LOI is signed by both parties, this is when we go into negotiating the lease. And at the end of this module, you'll understand the following: a build-to-suit option, the landlord's construction team, if they're available, price per square foot, defining a vanilla box, which is key to your project. When you're looking at a vanilla box, you want to make sure what the condition of the space is. Your TI money or tenant improvement money, free rent if it's available, the terms of the lease, the utilities that are going to be supplied, what they're expecting with your security deposit, your subleasing disclosures, delivery date of the space, and the property inspections. So again, the build-to-suit option. So I always ask every landlord, do you have a build-to-suit option? And what that means is the landlord builds it out for you and he'll charge you extra in your rent. It's pretty much like a turnkey type situation. Some landlords they have available. Most landlords want you to do your own build out. Next, if they don't have build-to-suit, ask them about their construction team. Most landlords have a construction team, especially if they have multiple properties. So always ask. Those people is where you get the best prices when it's the construction, because they already know the building. And a lot of times the landlord wants you to use their construction teams, again, because they know the building so well. Again, in the lease, you're looking at your price per square foot, making sure that what you agreed on in the LOI is translated into the actual lease itself. Defining the vanilla box and making sure that the project is a plug and play. A vanilla box is defined as a space where you have the HVACs, all of the utilities are ready to go, and you're just going in there and actually starting your project. You want to make sure that you're not going into a dark cold shell, a gray shell. There's certain terminologies, and you want to watch with that because the condition of the space, a lot of landlords, depending on if it was a brand new construction, that you might get a dark cold shell. That just means you have to bring it up to a vanilla box before you could actually start your project. So you definitely want to make sure what the condition of the property is in and what they're providing as part of their actual lease. Tenant improvement money, whatever you negotiated into your LOI, is what you want to make sure translates into your lease. Again, when you're looking at tenant improvement money, you want to ask big. What I see happen with a lot of landlords is how much TI money is that they're willing to provide is going to go back to your personal finances, and everybody's personal finances is different. So the stronger your personal financial statements are, the more TI money landlords are willing to give you. We see a lot of times too that landlords are happy to work with Allure consulting tenants because they know they have experience behind them and they know that they have kind of that safety net, especially if it's the first time around. So that's why a lot of people, instead of doing the DIY method, they might, actually have us go through the whole entire system with them. Free rent and what's available. When we're negotiating, we're actually negotiating so that we're not paying rent until our doors are open. So whether you're looking for the free rent where it comes from the time you get your building permits or the sooner of your occupancy, there's a way to make sure that you're not paying rent again until you have the doors open and you're ready, open for business. Your lease terms, how long are they? When we're negotiating, we usually start at 5 years. And then what happens is landlords are willing to give more TI money based on time. So you're in essence trading your time for their money. So then we start at 5, we go to 10, sometimes we go to 15, and then we always do 2 5-year options because these facilities are so complex in their build out and it's not something that you could just tear down in a day. We try to go for really long leases, and landlords are thrilled with that because they will give you the money to invest because they know they have a long-term tenant and you're going to drive business into their property. Again, utilities, make sure you know what's in the space. You want to make sure there's a sewer hookup. You want to make sure that the gas lines are there, the electrical is ready to go, and the electrical you have enough electric to actually be able to power the whole space. And that we'll go over that a little bit later on when it's amps per rooms. But again, you want to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting. When it comes to the security deposit, make sure you know how much security deposit your landlord is expecting Typically, it's 1 to 2 months what the rent is. So make sure you're negotiating that. I've seen some landlords go up to 6 months, but again, you want to try to keep it at that 1 to 2 months of security deposit. Again, you want to be able to tell the landlord that you're subleasing, that you're going to subdivide the space that you're taking over, and it's going to be a subleasing type business so that they know that there's going to be other people in there renting from your company, not their company. Your delivery date, when the landlord expects to turn over the space to you, because you want to make sure that the delivery date is specified in the actual lease so that you know when the clock starts.